It's car con carne. Let's eat in the car. It's car con carne. And now here's the star of our show, James Van Alstyne.
And look at that, car con carne with a special assemblage of guest stars today. Car con carne in the middle of the day. It's Quarantine Con Carne, sponsored by C&H Financial Services. Let's pause for a moment as Animal Week continues. I am here with Sarah McDonald. She is the Associate Director of Media and Community Relations for PAWS Chicago. He is Brian Zeman.
Yes.
He is the head of the Adoption and Foster Program at PAWS Chicago. And perfect time for my mouse to die out, so I can't actually see your faces. I'm telling you, it's been a bad tech week. But you are here to talk, as this is Animal Week, talk about what's going on with PAWS Chicago. You are Chicagoland's largest no-kill shelter, one of the largest in America. How has, I guess we'll start with you, Sarah, how has the pandemic affected PAWS?
Our entire organization's had to adapt. Thankfully, we've been quick on our feet and we've never had to close our doors. So we've been able to continue saving lives and expanding our programs and services to continue saving homeless pets in need, but also supporting the community as well. One of the first things we did was we launched a virtual adoption process, which Brian's going to tell you all about that. We also created a crisis care foster initiative that is for pet owners that might be experiencing some hard times right now with the COVID-19 pandemic, maybe loss of job, maybe they're working on the front lines with not a lot of time to care for their pet. So we are placing pets for people in need in temporary foster homes so they can get back on their feet or continue on to remain on the front lines caring and helping everybody, and we're happy to do that and just hopefully alleviate a little bit of a burden.
I think that's something that people don't think about is coming at fostering from that angle, where people who have pets need to Hail Mary, like you said, people working in the medical field or first responders, they're not around and they're needed 24/7 practically at this point. What do? It's something that didn't even occur to me before the pandemic that there'd be a need ever for that sort of thing, but it makes sense, and financially it makes sense for people who were hit by layoffs or whatever.
Sure, a lot of people too are they're having to move into perhaps a building that doesn't allow pets, and so just for a few months while they try to find a new living situation, it would break my heart to think of them having to separate, to give their pets into a shelter while they, many pets are people's best friends. So one of the positive things that we've experienced through all of this is just outpouring of support from the Chicagoland community, whether it's folks that want to adopt or foster. We receive thousands of foster applications, so we're able to do programs like this thanks to the community. So it's just a way to help in turn support the community for people that have fallen on hard times right now. We've also, speaking of prevention, found ways to adapt our community outreach programs. So we typically go door to door in underserved neighborhoods that don't have access to a lot of veterinary or pet care resources. So we are in West Englewood, and back of the yards. What we're doing right now is our pet food pantry has gone mobile. We are delivering pet food and supplies to the doorsteps of pet owners in these communities, which in turn help, again, loving pets be able to stay in their home with people that want them rather than having to be turned into a shelter. So the need is great. Since March, we have distributed over 6,300 pounds of pet food to 1,000 pets, again, helping them stay in their home. So there's definitely a big need there. And we've also, I think is really neat, our community outreach veterinarian, since she can't go into the homes anymore of our clients, we're offering telehealth services, and this is for pet owners again who just don't have, otherwise they wouldn't have access to veterinary services. So she's able to, they'll send pictures of the dog, maybe it's they have a rash, or maybe they're just really anxious with everything going on, and she's able to help. And if there ever was like an emergency situation, then of course we would bring that pet right to our medical center.
So smart.
Yeah, so it's just been so great, and our clinic is one of the most important things we do. We're able to still, of course, provide spay neuter for our PAWS pets, but also for community outreach pets. But right now, it's so important to be doing spay-neuter with kitten season and the warmer temperatures when the accidental litters are born. We're prioritizing animals that are high risk of mating, so we can help keep our pet overpopulation problem at bay here in the city. And I let Brian tell you, but I think a really fun thing that we've been able to do recently is launch virtual dog training classes.
And I want to talk about that, but I was very good to introduce Brian and Sarah. I did not introduce who's with Brian. And I'm just watching you struggle. As Sarah's talking, Brian, I'm watching you struggle with the dog, just trying to keep the dog amused. Who is that?
So this is Bonita. She's a 7-month-old terrier mix who came to PAWS from Chicago Animal Care and Control. I do also want to point out, because I think if people are seeing her on Facebook, she's probably going to be very in demand because of how cute she is. But as of maybe 2 hours ago, the virtual adoption process has been started with her, and she will be going to her new forever home tomorrow around 4:30.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. And I guess that leads to the next question. We're seeing across the board a renewed interest, or just further interest, in adoptions and fostering. I'm assuming that that's also true of PAWS Chicago. You're seeing a lot, like skyrocketing numbers.
Yes, it's been really, really pretty remarkable how the city of Chicago has stepped up to help with fostering and with adoption. She's jumped away, so bye, Bonita.
I knew our time was fleeting with Bonita. I knew I had to introduce her before we lost her for good.
Thank you. It really has been pretty amazing. I think we were all kind of not really sure what the future would hold when the coronavirus hit, but it's been really, really amazing how people have stepped up to adopt and foster these really special animals. It's been great.
So, all right, tell me, how can people adopt right now for the other Bonitas who are waiting for their forever homes?
So we are doing virtual adoptions. So basically people are filling out their applications online. They're inquiring about a specific animal, and then we're going through the virtual adoption process. So it's basically our adoption process in reverse. So they're going over animals' medical or behavioral issues if they have them. Then they're doing adoption counseling over the phone with one of our wonderful volunteer adoption counselors. Then they're coming into the building using social distancing guidelines, meeting the animal, filling out paperwork, taking them home. So it's really been going really, really well. And I think the highlight for me has been a lot of our really, really special animals finding adoptive homes during this process.
All right, Brian, I want you to think of other moments or successes during this pandemic, because I want to come back to you. Okay. I want to go back to Sarah, because you started to, I wanted to acknowledge Bonita. You started talking about virtual training classes.
Yes, and I think it's so important. I mean, one of the things we always recommend, of course, right, especially when you want adopt for new adopters, is to enroll in a training class. And that's something that's been obviously not possible to do with shelter in place. So our awesome dog training team through our training center has launched virtual dog training classes. It's a little bit of something for everyone, whether you just recently adopted and you need to get on the same page with your new dog and train, or it's to learn manners for a teenager like my dog, or it's you can learn tricks. There's just really fun things to do while you're at home with your dog, and it really helps build that human and animal bond. So it's something we're really excited about, and they're kind of like what we're doing right now with Zoom. Our dog trainers will have maybe a group of 5 people, and we'll demonstrate anything from nose work to, again, tricks. You can have your dog learn how to jump through a hula hoop while you're sheltering in place. And again, just to really ensure a successful adoption is to make sure that your pet is trained and becoming a member of your family.
And if you don't mind, I'm going to get my dog. If you can get some of your trainers on the Zoom call right now, I have some issues we need to work through with Shazam, my dog. Next week. Okay. Julia says, yay, Bonita found a home. Agreed. I want to thank Stephanie and Dan and Marty and Jeff for joining us. So back to you, Brian. during the pandemic, what has stood out to you? The broad sense of the fact that people are going all in and helping the animals is great, but have there been specific moments?
Yes. I think all of these adoptions have been wonderful. So I don't want to minimize some, but there have been some that have been like really, really special to me personally, and I think to our organization. Some that stand out, cat-wise, we had a 17-year-old cat named Xantera who was adopted as a young cat years ago and returned when her owner could no longer care for her. She had kidney disease. She was adopted by this wonderful woman who took her and her much, much younger male companion cat. And she's found a forever home. She had previously been in a foster home for about 1.5 years. So, we weren't sure if she would find an adoptive home. Fortunately, she was resting comfortably in a foster home, but a wonderful adopter came by and adopted her and her companion. We also had a bonded pair of 17-year-old female cats, Smokey and Ash, who were recently adopted. So those were really great. On the dog side, I think Sarah would probably agree with me that we had a bonded pair named Bob and Ellen who came into PAWS separately, and then when we put them in a room together, they really kind of fell madly in love with each other and were pretty inseparable.
They helped each other overcome their issues.
Yeah,
That's so cool.
Bob came to us like really, really fearful outside, fearful of people. Ellen was pretty confident outside and confident with people, but she had pretty severe separation anxiety. And together, they've really, really come a long way. So we made them a bonded pair in November, and it took them a while, but they got adopted, and it was pretty wonderful. There have been some other really, really great dog adoptions too. I don't know how much time you have, James, but there's been some really good ones.
I mean, you kind of touched on it. One of the positive things is that we call them our long-term dogs and cats. People have been more willing to adopt and bring in some of our pets that have been with us for a while at no fault of their own. They're great pets. They just require a very specific kind of house, maybe no kids, or they need a yard, or they're working through some behavior modifications because, some of the animals we get unfortunately might have had a shaky, rough start before they found their way.
For sure.
And so, they're just more willing to work through their issues, especially as your home. Dogs with separation anxiety and things like that. And I think it's just, again, it's just people are wanting to help, and it's so remarkable to see the outpouring of support that people have for one another and for homeless pets too.
As we're watching people be kind of atrocious to one another, we can all rely on animals. This is, we need them.
Point.
They may need us, but oh my God, we need them.
They're proven to help you improve your health. I mean, they help with depression. They help you be social and want to get out and go for a walk. They give us so much more in return.
Absolutely. So if someone wants to help PAWS Chicago, what do they do?
Right now, obviously, if you can't virtually adopt, we are, like every charity right now, really asking for donations to help us continue our life-saving work. We have had to cancel recently one of our big fundraising events for the year, and we just had to postpone another one. And so with that being said, it's just really important more than now than ever to, if you can, make a donation. Even if it's not a monetary donation, you can help by perhaps going to our Amazon wish list and maybe donating an item to our pet food bank or to one of the PAWS animals. Heck, if you're looking for a last-minute Mother's Day gift, you can make a donation in honor of your mom or someone special to you, and we'll send a card. Every little bit helps right now. It's just so incredible. I just can't stress it enough. Every little bit is just going to make such a life-saving impact.
Well, I look forward to when all this ends, because I've been to the facility over on Clybourne. The care for the animals that I see being given is extraordinary. It's a remarkable facility, and you do remarkable work there. All right, are both of you doing okay? You handling everything okay personally, pandemic-wise? You all right?
I think so. It's been challenging with a 1-year-old during quarantine that just learned how to walk. So
you're busy.
We're busy.
Same. I'm busy with work, and I got a good dog at home that needs a lot of walks and cookies and belly rubs. So
He's a good boy.
he keeps me on my toes. He is a good.
Well, I want to thank everyone for watching on Facebook Live. I want to thank Amy and Rick and Kelsey and Mace and Joe who says PAWS rocks. It's true. Thank you for watching. I'm going to kill the Facebook Live. And this is Car Con Carne. Thank you, Brian and Sarah.
Thanks, James. It's fun.
Thank you so much.